Welcome. I'm so excited. Welcome to Live, Love, Laugh, Let Go Out Loud with your host, Lynn Serrano. And backstage, I have Staci Hall. She's just so excited. You're just going to love this show. You're just going to love her, period. You'll see why I stalked her. I mean, followed her and became friends with her and the connection she has to somebody that's special to both of us. So hold on. I'm going to do a little intro here. The one and only Staci Hall in the house.
Hey, what's up?
You're such a rock star. I want to thank you so much for being here. This is somebody that's so inspiring to me. You guys don't realize the ripple effect that we have on one another and the impact we have. But the next few days coming and rolling to December 30th, there's somebody that's going to be special on my show that really is you guys will see. But first of all, I'd like Staci to introduce herself, a little bit about her. We don't go specific on companies or anything like that, which she knows, but it's a lot of teasers, so you start following her. That's the purpose of this. So you will see why I love her so much. So Staci, take it away.
Hey, Lynn, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on your show. Oh my gosh, it's such an honor and a privilege to be here. Hi to everyone. So my name is Staci Hall, if you don't know me, and why would you, right? I am an online leader, a network marketing leader, a coach, a speaker, and I've been in the network marketing space for almost 6 years. And the first 2.5 to 3, I don't really like to talk about. Because I failed in spectacular fashion in just about every possible way a person could fail at this thing. But I was very stubborn. And so I stuck at it. I refused to give up. And I sought out great mentorship, which I was able to find. And I just plugged away. And I'm not one of those overnight success stories. I am not the girl who came in and crushed it and hit the top of her company and had no obstacles. That was not me. I had all the obstacles, all the things.
And we're going to talk about that
for you today, having had a fair bit of success. So I'm proof that if you just stay at it long enough, eventually you're going to figure it out.
And that's what I love about my show, because with living, loving, and laughter, we all have trials and tribulations, and that's really totally blessings. And so I love for people to see that, you're not totally polished. You are where you're at. You need to pursue what you want to do imperfectly, and eventually it all works out. So I have like tons of random questions for you here. So I'm there in no kind of order or anything, and we didn't get time to prep. So this is all going to be a surprise to you, but it should be things So
I'm nervous.
I know. We could start out with something easy and fun, but you know what? We're just going to dive in, and it all ends up being fun. But this one, I think you should know, because I'm excited to ask you this question, and that's, what is and when did you find your greatness from within? Because you always talk about that on your page.
Yeah. Well, it's an ongoing process. There is no, I found it, now I made it, and I'm great all the time. Nothing like that. For those who know me well, they've heard me tell the story, but the actual point of turn for me, I struggled a great deal with concepts of worthiness my whole life. I just did. I had an absentee dad that I was, I thought hung the moon and the stars. And because of that, I felt like I wasn't worthy of people's love or appreciation because I couldn't even get it from my dad. And I'm sure that's not an uncommon theme, but it followed me throughout my life. And I went to an event, I believe it was in 2014, it might have been 2015, a while ago. It was a Higdon Group, Ray Higdon, Jessica Higdon put on an event called Top Earner Academy. And he was on stage. And he was there was people on stage that he was working with. It was like laser coaching before that was a term, right? He didn't even know that's what he was doing, but he has this gift, right? And he was going to each person on the stage, and he was looking them in the eyes, and he was saying, "You are worthy. And as somebody, and he was going to each one in turn and just saying it over and over and over again. And as somebody in the audience who felt so invisible, I could have just blended into the furniture. You know what I mean? I was nobody. At least that was my perspective. And hearing him do this was actually difficult for me to even take on, Lynn. Like I couldn't even absorb it. It was painful. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't process it because I felt so disconnected from that being truth in my life. And it caused a breakdown. I broke down and I actually bawled my eyes out all over Ray's shoulder that day, like mascara everywhere, like a lunatic. Just by the grace of God, he didn't have security drag me out. But it was in that moment that I was like, holy cow, this person that I have so much respect for, who's accomplished all the things, sees me. That's insane. And that's when it clicked. It's like, if he can see me, then maybe other people can see me too. And I started in that moment to have feelings of worthiness, which made me realize that everyone has greatness. Everyone has greatness in them. Where they come from is not relevant to their greatness. They're great because they're here. Their worthiness is not conditional. And that was a very big, huge moment of realization that changed the game for me.
That's exciting that you say that because Ray, I met him through an event in New York right before when he first started Rank Makers, and I was a lifetime member. And he also, not only the event, he said, anybody that's a rank maker, we can all get together and meet up. But anyways, because he was personal friends with the person that brought him to New York, we got to spend a couple days at different events. So I've got he even said when I showed them the montage of pictures of us, he goes, gosh, we took a lot of pictures, but we were actual different settings. It wasn't the same clothes. It was different, parts. Yeah. And there was times that he sat next to me and I just could feel that I could resonate with him, and I didn't know why. And he was just such a humble guy 3.5 years ago, which he still is now. But what was really, really super cool was that I was like, he sits here and, I didn't feel like hounding him for questions or anything. I just enjoyed being around him. But you could just tell that he doesn't feel like he's any better than anybody else. He's just like everyone else. And the humbleness and yet the passion he has. When I saw him before getting on the stage and then saw him on the stage, I realized that when he's really hard ass, it's the best. He wants it for you just as bad as, as you should want it for yourself. And so I've seen him grow and flourish these last 3 years, just like I sat in the back row and I didn't want to be at that event. I didn't want anybody to see me. I didn't want to do anything. And yet it was always Ray that inspired me, because I'm like, I knew I empathized with him, but I have no excuse. It's not about me. And, he really has been a beacon about that. And he is going to be on my show December 30th. And I'm super, super excited. That's going to be an exciting show. My philosophy in life is that we should celebrate and let people know what they mean with us while we're here. It's just sad to see people memorialized after they're gone. And I always say, it's a shame if they knew the impact that they had while they were here, not after. Yeah. So that's basically my show, is just living and laughing and having people that I appreciate or resonate or mean something to me. And Staci, you mean a lot to me, because every one of your pictures you've got the beacon of life, and you're just a bright star. And I didn't understand my own bright star till I could see it, until I had Julie Anderson on the show. She's just such a beacon. I mean, it's our tribe. It's just, we've got this connection, unknown connection and energy. And that's what I really love about you, is just, you're straight out, say how it is. And I just really love and respect you. And I hope that I do you justice here in this little stuff that we're doing here. So we're going to go back and forth with some little fun things and some serious questions. Don't feel like you gotta, you'll see. Here we go. What are your success habits?
Oh my gosh, there are so many, right? I would say the most important one really is I step into gratitude before I step out of my bed. And that's what I tell people. You have to do that first and foremost, like my eyes open. And when you first wake up, you're in the perfect suggestive state to change your mindset from the inside out. That's when you're at the perfect spot to do that. So never waste that 10 minutes when you first start to wake up with checking your phone or jumping out of bed and starting to make breakfast for the kids. Like, step into gratitude. So I think of 10 things right away that I'm super grateful for. And some days it comes really easy. And some days, Lynn, it's not so easy. Depends on how you're feeling about life. But you make sure you do it anyway. And the key is you have to feel the emotion of that gratitude. And this is where I used to go wrong because I didn't really understand it. You have to feel grateful. For some people, that's actually not an easy thing to do. If they're so used to being negative about things, it's really hard for people to tap into that. But when you can, it really does change everything, because when you learn to be grateful for what you have, you open space to have more and to provide more, right?
Hey, I'm a Puerto Rican girl from Long Island, New York. I could just tell you, that attitude that I can have being Latina, it didn't work for me. I had to change that. And I like this attitude. So everybody's goes, why are you happy all the time? Because you don't want to see me unhappy. So this just works for me a lot better. And so I totally agree with you. So what mistakes have you made along the way? And I know that's a list too, right?
I've made all of them. So I was terrified of everything. Okay. So when I came into the network marketing profession, it was because I saw the paradigm and I saw what it could do for my family. My goal was to have my husband and I both home with our kids, because I wanted to give them the gift of having a father who was present and engaged with them, something I never had. That was the only thing that mattered. It probably mattered more to me than even me being home at the time. So, I was focused on that, but I didn't know how to make it happen because I was terrified of everything that you do to build business. I was terrified to tell people about it. I was terrified to hop on the phone. I was terrified to follow up with people because I thought I would be bugging them. I was scared of everything. So what I did is I just made it a habit to just avoid it. So I found things to do to distract myself, right? So you start going down rabbit holes. You start thinking, maybe I need to make some pretty images in Canva. Maybe I need to build a funnel. Maybe I need to have a giveaway so I can build my non-existent email list, right? So we end up doing all of these things that have nothing to do with making money. They just distract us from making money. And I did all of them. For 2.5, 3 years, I just was one solid, massive distraction and was taking no appropriate action. Although I looked busy, right?
Well, did you we're not going to get into specifics or anything here, but were you in the same company that you started with, or you changed? Could it be that you just didn't find the right product to be talking about it or something?
Well, I mean, there's always an element of that. I'm in my third and final company, God willing. So I was definitely in the wrong company when I started, but I was an accidental network marketer. I didn't know that profession existed. The only thing I'd ever heard of prior to being exposed at that moment was Avon, maybe when I was a kid, right? Or the pink Mary Kay Cadillac that would come through town. That was about it, right? I didn't know. I have no idea. So I just fell into it, and it was definitely not the right company for me. But I do believe that if you take the right action, you can be successful anywhere. But it just helps if you're if you're congruent and passionate about what you're promoting, and also who you're promoting with and for, like your team and also the corporate team as well. If you're congruent with their values, it's going to go way better for you, for sure.
Absolutely. So if you had one piece of advice to someone who's just starting out, what would it be?
I deal with this all the time. I think you need good mentorship. Now, I'm the first to say that even if your upline's terrible or your leaders are not great, you can still be successful. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't seek out good mentorship, even if it's not the obvious ones. Find someone. It doesn't have to be in real life. Most of the time it's not. They don't even need to know that you've chosen them as your mentor if it comes to it. But you need to have somebody to follow. Don't follow all the people. You're just going to, You don't do that. Okay. That's
No.
another big mistake that people make. Find one mentor or 2 or 3 to follow and keep it simple. Because what ends up happening is people are taking information from so many different places, Lynn. It's kind of like they're trying to bake a batch of chocolate chip cookies, but they're taking one line from 7 different recipe books. And then they wonder why their cookies taste like garbage, right?
You
Because
sound like
they're not following a cohesive plan. They need to do that and keep it simple. Push out all the things that don't have to do with your income producing activities. And if that's your goal, right? And stay focused on the simple things, master the mundane.
That's what Robert Hollis was talking about when he was on my show. And, him and Ray are good friends too. And and to see them mesh together and have the same message has been awesome. So let me ask you to what you attribute your success to?
Tenacity.
Action, right?
Tenacity, yeah. Action for sure. Gratitude, a positive mindset. I'm not perfect.
Right.
But yeah.
Hey, it's just like we got to take a shower every day, right? I mean, you need to eat nutrition every day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So which of your personality traits has been the most useful?
Oh, I'm stubborn.
I'm not going to take a no for nothing.
I'm stubborn. Well, and I love people. I mean, this is a relationship business, and I love people. So those 2 things for sure. Yeah.
What's funny is I normally ask. Well, I gotta find the cover for it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go down the list here, but this isn't how this is how I normally would ask this question. Do you have a ridiculous goal in life?
Well, I don't think any of them are ridiculous, but I do have big, hairy, audacious goals. I like to be unreasonable for sure.
There it is. Because of you, this is going to be the new question I ask, not that other one.
Right.
Because I love it.
Exactly. I have a goal to create as much impact as humanly possible to people like me who feel that they're not worthy of having the dreams in their heart. And there are a lot of those people, right? And I do it through building my network marketing team. I do it through coaching. I do it through training. I do it through speaking. So I have a goal definitely to expand all of those things, especially speaking. Getting out and being able to reach more people at one time is a huge goal of mine. Thousands, hopefully, millions. Big, big goals.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's a hard one, I know. What hard time in your life left you a better person after it was finished?
There are many. There are many hard times in my life, for sure. Parents divorcing, obviously. I had to grow up really young. I had to grow up and take on responsibility as an 8-year-old child. So that changes you for sure, but definitely makes you better. I seriously have a better work ethic than almost anyone. I have a really good work ethic. I'm a workhorse. But also I buried 2 dads with cancer, and I was able to care for both of them for a time when they left this world. I was there with both of them when they left this world. And I think when you go through something like that, when you're a caregiver to somebody and you watch them pass on, that is profoundly changes you. And at the time, you don't think it's for the better. You don't, because you're destroyed, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing is ever the same again. But it's truly a gift. It's a gift to be able to be there and do that and help somebody in that way. And it softened me. I think it softened me because I used to be much more hyper red, like aggressive.
Well, it's true though. I mean, it's one of those things I think you need to realize that we all go through these things in our life, but when you hit these threshold of people that have brought you up and are family to you and you lose them, you really have the perspective of, other people don't understand that. It's just like even losing a dog or anything. I mean, you can't empathize with anybody until you go through that. So I think the gift is all of a sudden you have that empathy level of being compassionate to other ones. My mom died almost 5 years ago, and it's like I never realized the impact of my friends who had lost parents. until it happened to me, you know,
Oh
and
yeah, you have no idea.
no, and
No
so
idea. Yeah.
so, you know, it's just like even when people get married or this and that, it's like or have a kid or anything, you don't know how to empathize. You know, it's not your tribe till you've been there,
Mhm.
you know, and so to have a double loss like that, my thoughts go with you on that, but I'm glad that you're here to empathize with other people that need you in that capacity. That's awesome. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
before I get it all serious and stuff in here, I'm gonna throw this little. I'm becoming known for this question here. You,
Uh-oh.
you're gonna be like, oh man, what did I get myself into?
It's
But it's
breaking
fun.
up. I can't hear you.
Yep. Ready? Ready? Here we go.
So, have you ever gotten yourself in a pickle? What kind of pickle would you say you got yourself into? That you learned the most valuable lesson ever.
Everybody loves the pickle. The pickle stories.
Have I
The
ever
pickle
been in a pickle? Oh my gosh, now you're really making me think.
Yes, that's what I'm supposed to do. There's got to be a time that you're like, what am I going to do in this situation? And it's usually a funny story.
I don't know. We may have to come back to that
You know
one. I'm
what?
trying to
You know
think.
what?
Most of my pickles are like coming to the defense of other people, but I've always gotten out of it okay. Like when my sister was younger, she used to get bullied all the time, which is it's not funny at all.
Right.
But I was actually I'm her younger sister. But for some reason, I always had more of that caretaking personality, and I always wanted to take care of her and defend her. So I used to have a little bit of a habit of going to the kids in grade school and like running up to them and kicking them all in the shins and telling them to leave my sister alone. And that was a regular occurrence. And then when I got to high school, she had a boyfriend who was not very nice to her. And the one and only time in my whole life that I was actually violent was that day, because I saw him push her up against a locker and I kind of just saw red. I got so angry, like, how dare you touch my sister? And I went and I just decked him right in the face. Like, I've never done anything like that before or since in my whole entire life. And I was like honor roll student. You know, I was teacher's pet. I was dating the president of the students' council, right? And here I am being hauled into the principal's office for literally pummeling some 6-foot dude right in the schnoz. Anyway, he ended up changing schools, so it wasn't that much of a pickle in the end, but it is a story.
All right, people, just so you know, this is the importance of self-development. And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, I don't hit people anymore. That was a one-time thing. Well, actually, I guess if you count the shin kicking, it is I had a little bit of an issue when it came to people picking on my sister. Yeah.
You know, and everything has two sides of it, you know. But, you know, that is karma because, you know,
I wouldn't handle it like that anymore, Lynn. So
that's what I'm saying. Everybody can change. Everybody can change, you know, and I really believe that. So, here we go. What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done other than Lynn's show?
I don't want to give anybody. Yeah, really. I don't want to give people ideas. I've done some spontaneous things in my life. I hitchhiked across Canada.
Did you really?
With some friends, not alone. I'm not totally crazy, but yes, I did. When I was in between it was in between first year and second year university. It was a time when it was hard to find jobs. Like I was getting a university degree, but even trying to get a job at coffee shops and stuff, there were people with their masters and their PhDs interviewing for those positions because it was right in the middle of a recession. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So I went out west. So for my American viewers, it's basically 2,000 miles from where I live. I went from Ontario to British Columbia, and I stayed out there for several months. And I hitchhiked from British Columbia all the way across to New Brunswick and back, selling encyclopedias door to door. That's what I did. And I was really good at it. I made enough money to pay for my next year's university. I hated it, but I was good at it because I got to talk to people, right?
But you see, that's funny that you say that because you didn't think you were worthy, or I don't think when you were worthy, you didn't realize how good you were.
No, I mean, I did things that were really risky. And
Yeah.
that's what people who don't feel worthy do.
Yeah,
If
but
my
I'm talking
daughter
about
did
selling.
that, I would lose my
Yeah,
mind,
I'm
right?
talking about selling encyclopedias.
Oh, that. Yeah, it was desperation. I couldn't get any other job. That was it. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
So
and we went up north to like north of 60. Like we were up north, really far north in Manitoba. I don't know, most of you don't even know where that is, but let's just say there ain't nothing going on. But there were a lot of native reserves out that way, and I'm a half Métis, so to me that was like really cool. And I got opportunities to like pitch tents in people's backyards and see the culture and participate in things. It ended up being an incredible growth experience, but it all started out of total desperation. I just needed to make some coin, dude. I need to pay for my school.
you see, you were focused. You were
Yeah.
singularly focused on like, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fun.
okay. So what's the most impressive thing you know how to do?
I think I might be able to still do the splits.
I love it. Okay. And what's the
I was
most
a competitive gymnast growing up. So, I have a few skills that people don't know me for. I used to be a singer back in the day before my kids. So I used to play a lot of guitar, write a lot of songs, play on stages.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's why you got all those rocking guitars and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
My husband plays those now, but yes, yeah.
Nice. So what's the most courageous thing you've ever done?
Besides hitchhiking across the country.
Right?
Um,
But you
You
were
know
too
what?
young.
Here's the thing. I do things that scare me all the freaking time. Honestly, you're looking at somebody who was terrified to pick up the phone and talk about my business. I actually became physically ill. I had to run to the bathroom the first time I tried to talk to somebody. I threw up. I was so terrified. So I've done all kinds of things. I've spoken on stages. I've spoken on virtual stages. I've played music in front of people. I've acted in TV commercials. All of those things were a focused hippie. TJ, please now, because I have doesn't mean I'm a hippie. But I did all of those things almost because they terrified me. I had to demystify them. So it's kind of a regular occurrence in my life. I won't jump out of a plane though. I'm not going to do that.
What's really funny is that you say that because that's exactly how I feel. It's like I have this tendency of just daring myself to get out of my own damn way. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's like a gutsy game I play with myself. I'm like, do it anyways, do it
Yeah.
anyways. Like I get, anxious and stuff. I'm like, calm down, do it anyways,
Yeah.
And I can always
If it
think
scares you, you must.
absolutely. So absolutely. So what makes a person beautiful to you?
There are so many things, but I think when people are willing to be courageous about their heart in order to impact another person, that's what I find the most beautiful thing in the world. Because there are a lot of people who are in their story and terrified to share it. But when they're courageous enough to share it and it actually changes a life, it's like that moment is what I live for.
This question lets me know that, you know, I feel the same way about you, because I got to hear on the virtual stage when you shared your story because you had some help and you formulated it. And, I'm still working on my story because shit, for me to even hear it's depressing. It's like I'm not here to depress anybody. I'm here to inspire people. So you gotta come from a place of being healed. What's that saying that's going around now? People that are bleeding, cut, or something like that. It's just it's one of those things where you don't realize that you went through that experience so you could share and help other people that are going through that experience right now. We're all, I think, in this world, and I think that's what's really good about the network marketing space, even though it's just a crazy industry, is that people don't realize that, what, if you not a people person or you don't like people and you are a loner, well, then this isn't going to be for you because truly it's a ripple effect of being connected. And I think that's why I like to interview people in this arena at times, as well as other things, is because the unity of realizing, what, you can, I'm always thankful and happy when I see somebody succeed or accomplish something because I know they busted their ass to get there and they deserve it,
Yeah, that's Chalene Johnson's Teach from the Scab, Not from the Wound. That's what you're talking
Oh,
about.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
thanks for
It's
helping me
so
with that.
true. And the thing is that there are people who aren't people, right? They don't really like people. I have a couple of friends like that. They don't really like people, but they're amazing. They're so amazing.
Right,
They can be successful at it if they're willing to grow.
right. And that
That's the key. That's the key.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so what part of your day do you look forward to and why?
Um, I love so many parts of my day. I'm really a night person. I love being productive in the evening. I know a lot of people are all about the miracle morning. I'm more the miracle midnight, but magical midnight.
Write the book.
I love 3:30 in the afternoon, because 3:30 in the afternoon is when I go pick up my kids. So that's always a fun time. But I have a great time all day. I get to work with the most amazing people on the planet all day long in different capacities. I'm very, very blessed. So I love it all.
We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But here we go. What habit do you have now that you wish you started much earlier?
Oh gosh. Yeah, so many things. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I would have had belief in myself sooner, because I think about all the people that I didn't impact because I was too scared to open my mouth. Like Nadia Melton says, you have a miracle in your mouth. Why are you not sharing it? Right. I would have gotten into action sooner and immediately divorced myself from any kind of expectation of outcome, and just focused on the activity, the action steps, and just let the chips fall where they would, and they would fall properly, right? If you're taking the right action. I was all up in my head about everything, so I would have handled that sooner.
Oh my gosh, I totally agree with you on that. People don't realize that you don't need to know everything. You just need to know where you want to go, and
Exactly.
everything else falls in place. So again, I'm just so thankful that you're taking time and you're trusting me with these questions. So you're doing really awesome here.
Right.
So how do you organize your time?
Man, I live by my calendar. So anyone who's ever had me show up on the wrong day for I have somebody new that I onboarded the other day, and she reached out to me and she said, "Did you forget about me tonight?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean? We have a meeting tomorrow night at 9." She said, "No, it's tonight." And I'm like, "Dang it. I'm so sorry." But like, that doesn't happen very often. But the point is, I live by my calendar. So if I enter it wrong, we're done, because I'm a really busy person and I have a lot of things organized. But what I do is I time block. And I know a lot of people talk about time blocking, but I do it in a very basic way. So I organize my calendar by time when I absolutely cannot work my business, because I have family obligations and nothing gets in there. Nothing. You cannot. That's like my fortress, right? So those times are scheduled in. That's for family. And then I have times when I can sometimes work my business depending on the week. And then times I always work my business. And so I've got those chunked out, and then I just fit things in where they need to go. That's it. And that's the easiest thing. Have it on your phone and live by it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys that are coming in and out, feel free to ask questions if you'd like. I'm getting to some fun parts here. We're going through some little questions, but it's going to get a lot more fun here soon. Let's see. What's your favorite thing to do when you have free time?
I like to read. I like to listen to podcasts. I like to play with my kids. I like to go for walks with them, stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so if you could start all over again, what would you do differently?
Well, that's the main thing. I would just, be more coachable and not be in my own head. Just do the things.
I was going to say earlier, with what you said before, I think, the regrets of realizing that turning 55 tomorrow is that you just get wiser when you get older. You wish you were Benjamin Button or something,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. True.
All right. What does the perfect day look like to you?
Waking up when I want to, not with an alarm, and being able to spend breakfast and chill with my kids, doing whatever. I'm not a fancy person, my needs are It's just mostly to do with the people that I spend my time with. I love my work, so I'd want to do some of that. I would want to do some team building. I would want to do, some training, coaching. I love all of that. And then nighttime, hanging with some awesome people and a bottle of wine. Simple.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this out of here. Do you know what's the funniest joke you know by heart? There's got to be one.
All my jokes are so silly. I used to teach preschool, so knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Moo!
I love it. Oh man, I love
It's
it.
the one that kids 5 and under love it. I slay all day, Lynn.
See, I'm never gonna grow up because I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So what are some of your hobbies?
Well, I'm a former hairstylist, so I still do, cut hair and style hair, and still love music. I love to write. Lots of little hobbies.
Awesome.
I'm an ex-fitness junkie, so there's that element too. Love fitness. Yeah.
I love it. What's the best thing you've got going on in your life at the moment?
Oh, so many things.
I know, right?
The best things that I have going on, my team is exploding. So they're in massive momentum. So when I see so many people winning, it's everything. I love it so much. I love seeing them all win. The Higdon Group, the speaking team. We have so many projects on the go to help the network marketing profession just up level everything, help people win faster, help people use this as the vehicle it was intended to be so they can cater to their passions and make their dreams come true. So many people are just stuck. They're just stuck spinning their wheels. And so we pour all of our time and energy into helping them not be stuck. We want people to win and make a bigger impact, make more money so they can do more things.
I'm excited about talking about that here really soon. Mm-hmm. Really soon. Okay. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. Oh my gosh, I have so many favorite quotes too.
I'm giving you all these titles so you can write books about these. Do you realize that, right?
Well, no, there's quotes from so many different books, but put me on the spot here.
Okay, so let's switch to this one. This will be fun. What personality trait has gotten you into the most trouble?
I'm like ridiculously sarcastic. So I love to laugh like hardcore.
I think that's why I love you, because from Long Island, my kids are 31, 27, 26. And it's funny. Yeah. And the funny thing is they've lived with me and they've known me a while, and I still come out sarcastic, and they're like, Mom, I'm like, what? I'm from New York. I'm Puerto Rican. Like, figure it out. That's just the way I am,
Yeah. I know my favorite quote, Lynn.
Okay.
Caught me off. I thought of I have many favorite quotes, but I thought of the one that actually I love more than anything else, and that's Brene Brown. Do you know Brene Brown?
Yes. Okay,
so if you're not in the arena also getting your ass kicked, I'm not interested in your feedback. You know that one?
No, I didn't.
That's my favorite.
I love it. I've got to get into her more, but there's just so many really great people to follow.
You would love her because she's really helpful when it comes to understanding, sharing your story. So
yeah, so I think I need to focus on that too, with writing my book and everything like that. But you know what? We're going to go down to we're going to go down to some fun here. And when I'm talking about fun, let me take this off of here. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, we can talk about this while this is happening, but you're ready to see this?
I don't know. Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So talk about fun. And I went to your Facebook and I let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
So Okay. Well, the Higdon Group had their Christmas party, and I was not able to attend because I live in Canada and our borders closed, so I couldn't fly. I couldn't fly out. And so, two members of the Higdon Group that I work really closely with every single day, Mary Kate O'Connell and Nicole Domeray, they decided to make a cardboard stuffed version of Staci, and they took her everywhere during this Christmas party, couple of days that the Higdons threw, so I wouldn't feel so lonely and left out. Isn't that sweet?
Oh, you see, I have a question up there about who you should surround yourself with, but I
Yeah.
think time's running out on us here soon. So, but I'd love for you to share from your perspective. It's late in the video, so it's not like Ray would have to scan through this right now. So, but seriously, in your own words, how awesome is it to work with those people? I mean,
That's the best.
and
I
how
mean,
did you end up working with them? I guess that's a good question.
well, I mean, I've been around the Higdon Group campfire for 6 years. Like I'm a lifer, right? And so I actually was part of Ray's downline in a network marketing company way back when.
Wow.
And not that he probably knew it then, because he had a massive organization. So it wasn't like I was tight with him or nothing,
Right.
But that's where it started. And then I just followed all of his trainings, and I literally consumed every single thing that they put out from that day forward and to this day, really. I mean, and so then when they opened Rank Makers, I became a lifetime member. I got to work. I started making some things happen in my life, and they noticed. And so they asked me if I wanted to be an ambassador for the Facebook group, which I gladly took on. And actually I had to submit a video. Like it was hardcore. Like you had to like audition, right? So, but then I did that for a while, and then they offered me a paid position with the company because they were appreciating the contribution I was making to the group. And yeah, that was 2 years ago. So I've been working with them directly for the last 2 years, and it's been amazing. And they're just as awesome as they seem, like truly.
I know they are. That's what I'm so excited to have them on my show. And so
Yeah.
it's going to be really cool. Which, by the way, they have, you want to, what are the takeaways from, and I've got the book right
You have
here.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I have it. Except my green screen is like,
Oh, yeah.
you got to just love your green screen. But the time, money, freedom.
Mhm.
Do you have some takeaways you want to share?
Oh my, I have so many, but the one that really hit me between the eyeballs, I think it was the rule number 2, pluck your weeds. Was it number 2? That's the one that really hit me between the eyeballs because I have had a habit in the past of not confronting things that need confronting because it's easier not to. But when you don't confront things that are weeds, and for those of you who haven't read the book, the weeds they're referring to aren't necessarily people or things. Sometimes it's attitudes that you have, pervasive thought processes that you have, ways of doing things that you have, or even just things in your world that you're spending time doing that aren't in your zone of genius that you don't need to be doing, like cleaning your house, for example. Those kind of things are weeds that are preventing you from achieving your greatest success. And so you need to pluck them.
Yeah.
So that's so important. And you have to pluck weeds in all areas of your life, for sure.
I love the perspective. Actually, I got it on audio, and then I'm in the book club because I also endorse everything. I got to buy everything. That's just when you're a lifer, it only makes sense to keep supporting and getting. I mean,
I just got this puppy this morning.
Oh, girl, this is an exclusive because man, that was a tease. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this big here. I'm going to take this off of there and tell, oh man.
Like Vanna White. Isn't it beautiful? It's actually, it's so much more substantial than you think it's going to be. It's quite big. And it's so awesome. Like, am I allowed to show this? Is this like, I know this is probably not.
Come on. This is the insider stuff. This is.
Yeah. Look at how much room they give you to plan.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
So they've got the calendar like that. And then they've got, parts where you can put your goals and stuff though, right?
Note section. Yeah. And then they have like this where you can kind of plot your time slots.
Yeah, and I'm glad because this is what I got right now, and I don't think you can see it.
No, I'm not. You're not on the screen with
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
So it's just I'm looking to change that. So I'm pretty excited. So yeah, lucky you. I gotta order mine.
Yeah, I was super stoked. It just got here this morning, and I was like, "Yeah, man, awesome."
Let's see. So let's see here. What book recommendations do you think have been the most impactful on you? Not all the books you've read, but some books that you actually go back to that are almost like, I'm sure this new book is right up there, but
yeah, there are many. But I would say there's few that I read repeatedly, but there are a couple. So Think and Grow Rich, and also Vibrational Money Immersion, which is Ray's book. That's kind of like Think and Grow Rich for network marketers. I have reread both of those more than once. So definitely Think and Grow Rich is Napoleon Hill. The other one that I have read more than once is The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield.
Yes, I got it, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh my gosh, amazing book. I've read that more than once. And then the third one I've read twice. The only one I've ever read twice, other than those two that I mentioned, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Do you know him?
No.
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Absolute game changer. You have to read that book or get the Audible if you like.
Yeah, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Yeah. Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's all about, he talks about, his life's work is actually the science of how our thoughts and emotions create our life, the science of it. And so he has a whole practice centered around reprogramming the subconscious to achieve what we desire. And it's just so, the way he expresses it, the way he teaches just really resonates with me in a way that others haven't. And it's incredible.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that's what people don't realize is, we do have those two little voices, and people always are listening to the negative ego voice and not the one that's very gingerly telling you, get shit done, you do this, do that. And then all of a sudden later they're like, I should have listened to that voice. I don't remember what it sounds like. I mean, it's just, it's just kind of crazy, but it really is, can be as simple as that. And I think in one of your posts recently in your wall, it's just, it really is sad when you want to desire to see people achieve getting out of their own head and realizing just try something new and see where you're going. I mean, I decided to do podcasts, and back in March, Rob Sperry, he was like, hey, I'll do a podcast with you. And I did one, and then I didn't do it. And I'm like, I got to do these again. And, I was just amazed of the, Robert Hollis and Matt Morrow and Austin Zuloff and Shayo. I mean, all these people willing to be on my show. And I'm like, wow, I'm just humbled that they are allowing me to help other people be impacted by some impactful people just like yourself. So,
well, that's how you can tell who's playing for the applause and who's playing for the impact, right?
Absolutely. So, it is just, but we all, it's just a great place if you want it to be. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been?
See, I live by my clock. It's telling me I have a meeting in 10 minutes. There you go.
Yes. And yes.
You've witnessed it in the flesh.
Absolutely.
The most beautiful place I've been, I got married in Jamaica. So the 7 Mile Beach in Negril is one of the most gorgeous places on earth. And then also, if you've never been out to the Lake Louise area of British Columbia to see the mountains and the water, it's just, it's one of the most, I don't know. I find that I can be so much more creative when I'm in that kind of space.
Nice.
I really should have been born near an ocean, but I wasn't. So there you go. But, yeah.
Okay. So what's the best advice you've ever received?
Don't give a shit what other people think.
Amen, sister. I love that.
Better than just about anything.
Do you remember who gave you that?
Oh, well, I mean, I've been getting that advice my whole life. you know, my mom's a very wise woman, so she has said some very wise things in her day. That's probably one of them. Yeah, but I mean, but it's a common recurring theme, isn't it? You know,
Yep.
if you are so concerned about how others perceive you and their thoughts about what you're doing, you will paralyze yourself from having an impact, because you're going to care more about how you look and what people think of your big old self than maybe risking sounding stupid or looking stupid to change a life. And it stands in people's way every single day.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had traumatic brain injuries. I've had this and that, and my enunciation sometimes isn't perfect, or, get anxious or whatever. It's like, you know what? I don't care if somebody doesn't like that part of my show. Other
Mhm.
people are going to be compassionate and see that I'm just being silly, laughing my way, out of a paper bag. And if I could do this, anybody else can do it. I mean, people, like, you've seen my heart, my heart, my intentions, and you surround yourself around the people that inspire you. And again, I can't echo it enough. That's why I love having you here, just spending some time with you, and you blocked me in. It's just I'm very grateful. So we're going to wrap this up here real soon, but if you could have stepped in my shoes, what would you have asked yourself that I didn't?
That's a very good question.
Thank you. And you know what? I don't ever often share this question with people.
Yeah, no, it's actually really it's a sign of coachability, which is really fantastic. I mean, there are
Yeah.
many questions that I would ask because I know myself and my situation, but maybe a really valuable question might be, what are the biggest concerns you have in the network marketing profession, and how do you see fixing that or going about making it better?
Eh, But that wouldn't go for my show, because it is about live, love, and laugh out loud. And we don't want to make people cry sometimes, because
Oh no, it's not a terrible thing.
no, I'm just saying, because you could think about it. That could be a whole series of shows on that one.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh my goodness. Well, girl, we're gonna wrap this up here in a few seconds. Just because let's see.
So, have you been naughty or nice this year? What's on your wish list?
I think I've been a little bit of both, Lynn, but mostly nice. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy. I want to thank you for being on my show. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. Thank you. Love you. And God bless.
Very
So,
cute. Yes.
well,
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you, Lynn. It's been fun. Thank you.
well, thank you for being here. Don't leave me yet, but yay, the show is over. You survived. Congratulations. I hope you had a great time. So please, please don't tell Ray how awful it was or anything, because I don't want him to cancel being on my show, because I'm trying to promote that here. But no, just kidding. And also, it's funny, is I'm friends with some of the other people that are in the Higdon group. That so you were the catalyst of the one of many that I hope to have here, so that by the time Ray gets here, people can realize the awesome people he surrounds himself with, and what it takes. It takes a village to support one another, and for all of us to be where we need to be in life. So I can't thank you enough. I'm going to play the little video that I played in the beginning here. So you stay right here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you got a lot of value. Share it. I am on YouTube. This was YouTube Live, and I need to get my 100 channel or 100 subscribers. My birthday's tomorrow. I'm just asking you, like and subscribe. I'm going to get my granddaughter to say that too.
Yeah.
Hold
Well,
on, you guys.
birthday.
Thank you. Hold on.